everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, I will be talking about your very own testimony book. You may be wondering, what is a testimony book? A testimony book is a book where you document all the goals that you have accomplished, all the life lessons that you have learned, and even the goals that you did not accomplish. So for myself, at the end of 2020, I updated my book. I had my testimony book for maybe 9 years now. Yeah. So each year I keep updating it and adding, new goals I've accomplished, lessons learned, and just document my life story and my life successes and accomplishments. So why should you create your very own testimony book? I found that normally when I have a new goal, like say a big goal that I want to achieve, I find myself pondering, is this even possible? Can I do it? And normally when I'm at that place, I would reference my testimony book and look at the past goals that I have accomplished and draw motivation and encouragement from them, because I have something to reference and say to myself, of course you can do this. You totally got this. Look at what you have done in 2017, 2018, 2016. These are testaments of what you can do. So when the question arises, can you do it? Of course I can. Because if I did it then, in the past, I definitely can do it now. And for some of those goals, before it was completed, I had the same feeling. Is this possible for me? And after completing it, I definitely and confidently can say yes, because I have proof of the completion of the goal. So that's one of the main reasons. Another reason to have your testimony book is that it allows you to keep a record of helpful life tips. So for myself, this came in handy when I think in 2014, I decided that I wanted to create an ebook. So I created my first version of the ebook. Then 5 years later, I've decided that I wanted to start creating digital projects and products and sell it. So while I had that goal for the given year, I was able to reference my book of testimonies to see some of the life lessons and tips that I have learned when I first created my ebook in 2014. So the ebook allows you to draw wisdom and life lessons that you've learned as well. So it's not only beneficial, it's not just a thing where you write it and you forget it. No, you write it and you may need to reference it, or someone may say, you may have a friend that is starting a new business and you have already went through that process and they're asking you for advice, and you're like, sure, I definitely can give you some insight, and you just review all the lessons that you have learned and said, well, these are my opinion based on my experiences with doing whatever the goal is. So I find that having my book of testimony really helps me, because sometimes when I'm feeling down or I'm feeling like things aren't going as I thought it would, or I'm just feeling emotionally down, I'll just reference my book of testimony, my book of accomplishment, to remind myself of all the goals that I have achieved. And that even though things may not be going the way that I thought it would, I'm still making traction in my life. I'm still making baby step towards the goal. Because there's a thing about goal that I have recognized is that sometime at the start of the goal, you thought that you would do it this way, and halfway through the goal, as the CEO of your life, you had to change stuff. Things change, things happen, and you have to be flexible and be able to pivot and find new ways or plans to execute that goal. Hopefully that will cause you to think about your very own testimony book. And another reason for all the parents out there, this is the book that you can leave as part of your legacy for your kids. Think about it. Having all the life lessons and the goals and the things that you have learned through your life journey, having it documented for your kids to read it and pull strength and encouragement from it. So that's another plus for the testimony book. So hopefully you'll consider creating your very own testimony book. I find it very useful for me, and it also helps me to trace the journey of my life. Because with my testimony book, when I review the lessons learned and the major milestone that occurs, I can reference to say, well, in 2017, this is what I was working on. This is what I've learned. This is the goal that I achieved. This is the goal that I didn't fully achieve. This is the goal that I deprioritized. So you have all that information there, all about your very own goals. And you may be wondering, because if you recall, I mentioned earlier that you also document the goals that you did not achieve. And you may be wondering, if I did not achieve the goal, why should I write it down? Well, I found that even though you may not achieve the goal, if you've attempted the goal, normally there are some lessons learned through the process. And it allows you to do a retrospective on the goal to say, what went well? What went wrong? What could I have changed? Because you want to make sure that in every experience that you have in life, that you're pulling nuggets of wisdom from it. Don't let your experience be wasted. You experience something. What have I learned? How can I use this information and become a better version of myself? So you want to make sure that you keep making progress, baby step progress, and you're learning from each experience that you have in life. As always, success belongs to you. Take charge now. See you in my next video. Bye.